We are now officially just 5 months away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really great about this film is that we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to introduce many different pieces of Star Wars lore that both belongs in the existing canon material, as well as Star Wars Legends, that is going to be making its way into the big screen for the Star Wars audience to see once this film drops comes this December of 2019. Now, what's really exciting about this film is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting when it comes to Star Wars lore, being used in a totally different way in Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that a description of Kylo Ren walking on a strange metallic bridge, where the environment is said to be complete darkness, where Kylo is said to be using the ability of flow walking. It's described that Kylo begins to hear the voices of Snoke and Vader in the distance, as he nears of what's described to be one of the visions of the past that is said to change Star Wars lore forever. It's described that eventually Kylo sees a vision of Darth Vader discussing and exchanging vital dialogue with Snoke about how Vader was successful in entering the spiritual realm through use of many of the Dark Temples and its devices. Snoke in the scene is described to be wearing a strange cloak with a mask over his face that is abstract in form, where Snoke hands Vader a large device glowing in a red hue that is said to allow Vader to stay connected with the spiritual realm while he stays within the mortal world. It's said that Vader at one point in time was able to communicate with Padme from the past, similar to how Ezra Bridger did with Ahsoka Tano, and was able to do this within the worlds between worlds. However, he could not take her into present time. It's said that years later Palpatine discovered Vader and Snoke's alliance and destroyed this device that allowed Vader to stay connected with the spiritual realm itself. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because we do know that Episode 9 is going to introduce a whole entire new version of Star Wars lore into the actual movie than we would have ever dreamed of. And I think the fact that JJ is paying attention to a lot of the comics, the books, and the novels that's really floating around out there, and is using that as a way in order to create a foundation for Episode 9 really does speak volumes, in my point of view at least. It tells us that Disney and Lucasfilm are really trying to dive deep into the mythology of Star Wars, and are really trying to introduce a lot of Jedi, Sith, and Force lore, as well as introducing a lot of these connections between all of these popular characters within the Skywalker saga itself. So, like I've said before in the past, this is Disney's version of flow walking, where Kylo is able to see a vision of both Snoke and Vader, an element of the past that we have never seen before on the big screen, where there is an alliance between both Snoke and Vader. Now, as of right now, in any kind of book or canon material, there's no hints and/or indicators of Snoke actually talking to Vader, visually speaking, or in the form of dialogue. However, in the upcoming film, that is exactly what J.J. Abrams plans to do, is to introduce this alliance between Snoke and Vader, and how Palpatine eventually caught on to all of this. Now, the thing here is this: one of the devices are actually said to be handed from Snoke to Vader, that is said to allow Vader to stay connected with the spiritual realm, and eventually being able to talk to Padme Amidala from the past. However, he could not pull her in from the present. Now, that's exactly what Ezra was able to do in the Worlds Between Worlds and Star Wars Rebels. He was literally able to save Ahsoka Tano from getting killed by Darth Vader. So you can really see how Ezra Bridger was essentially able to change how, history was going to tell itself. But in this scenario, this is flow walking. Kylo Ren is not able to mess around with time. He's not able to manipulate time in any way, shape, or form. He can only witness true events of the past, and quite possibly even the future. So what's really great about this also is that this does introduce, more Star Wars lore, more, I guess you could say, new types of canon material that's going to make its way into The Rise of Skywalker, that'll make us view Vader, Snoke, Kylo, all these different characters in a different light. Now, I really want to know exactly what this device is really called, and I'm sure that we're going to learn more about it in the upcoming novelization of The Rise of Skywalker, where we will finally be able to learn the name of these devices that belong to the Dark Temples, as well as this mystery device that Snoke hands to Vader, where Vader is able to stay connected to the spiritual realm while staying in the mortal world. Now, the fact that Palpatine eventually, caught on to this alliance and destroyed this device also explains as to why, Vader does not own it in the original trilogy. Now, of course, out-universe, there's an out-universe answer to all of that is because, well, the original trilogy was made way back in the 70s and the 80s, so obviously would have no reference to what's being made now. So, what's being, applied here to Episode 9 seems very impressive by JJ, Chris Terrio, George Lucas, and especially everybody else involved with this film. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.